If boys and girls are together in these elite GPS schools, they both have a different attitude to, what leadership looks like, particularly when they get into the workplace. These schools are always talking about grooming the next CEOs, for example. So why not start early, Richo?
Well, I think we're still starting pretty early. It's just a matter of how early. That's all, and I think that we've got it pretty right at the moment. And if it ain't broke, why are we fixing it?
Well, because there's not a lot of co-ed elite schools in Sydney, to be frank. In the eastern suburbs, for example, there is one at the moment that's a public school. I mean, this would create more options, would it not?
Well, it would create more options, but why do we need them? I don't detect some great movement out there to bring about co-ed schools. I think people are reasonably happy with the education system. I certainly have been.
Yeah, and look, I've got to disclose this, Richo. I've put my little girl down for Cranbrook, so it'll be well after Darcy leaves, so don't worry about that. But more seriously, Richo, I think there's a lot of pressure on young boys at the moment to the way they treat women, the way women are viewed, etc. Some of it fair and unfair. But wouldn't this help in that social aspect, do you think? Or are you just worried about... why do you think girls are such a distraction?
Well, I'm not going to go into that in great detail, I'm afraid.
Oh, come on, Richo.
No. I'm not that stupid. I only look silly. But I think, if you're falling in love, and that's what young boys do, if you're falling in love, you're not so interested in study. I'd rather just get the study over and then whatever you need to do after that, go for it. But I would be... I've never believed, ever, that you've got co-education is a good thing. And yet it now seems to be becoming the norm. I think there'll be very few single boys or girls schools in the future.
Yeah, look, and what we have seen is two boys' schools, elite boys' schools, Newington and Cranbrook, move to have co-educational schools. What we don't see is girls' schools welcoming the boys in. Would you feel more comfortable if it happened in the reverse way?
Of course I would, but it won't happen the reverse way.
Why not?
Because the girls don't want it, actually. If you detected a movement in the girls' schools to change over to a co-ed system, I haven't. And I know quite a few girls who and parents from private schools who go to single-sex schools, and I haven't heard them tell me that they don't like it, that they need a change. I haven't heard it at all, not from one person.
Well, you've given me something to do. I'm going to follow that up because you're right. It doesn't mean it's not happening, it just means I haven't looked into it. So I'm going to do that. Richo, before I let you go, and I love having you on the show, it's been too long actually. You're worried about girls' influence. Is there something that happened while you were at school? Are you speaking from experience here?
No, I think I was handling it reasonably well, but I saw some blokes who fell in love when they were 16, and it didn't really help them at all. Well,
how did they end up in the end? Did they become CEOs or...?
No, neither of them became CEOs that I can remember, but I think they both did fairly well in life.
Are they still in love?
But if you're at Morris Brothers Cogra in those days, it was a school that did very well academically, despite the fact that it was from a somewhat poor area, and it wasn't a GPS school or anything, but it did pretty well.
It did. Richo, pleasure having you on the show. We agree to disagree on this one. We'll see you soon.
I think we can do that without trying to wreck the friendship. I think we can survive.
I think we've survived. Richo, we'll see you soon.
See you.